morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sit down.
I can't do anything right today. My goodness.
Did you start out that way?
Oh, my God.
Is Cynthia telling you to sit down?
How did you know?
Now?
Make sure and unmute your mics.
It's live. Okay. Knock on wood. I will call this, what day is it? April 22nd, special closed session city council meeting to order. Deputy Clerk, can we have a roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Clark?
Present.
Councilmember Lodge will be joining remote via Zoom. Councilmember Peterson?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nails?
Yeah. Here.
Mayor Krupa?
Here.
All members are present with the exception of Tom Lodge.
Very good. Are there any registered speakers for closed session?
No public comment today.
All righty, then at this time,
I'd like to ask the council to add one item to closed session. Initiation of litigation would require a 2/3 vote to add it to the agenda.
okay. Do we have a motion and a second to add an item to closed session?
I will do a motion to add that item to closed session.
I'll second it. Could we have a roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. We have a motion by Councilmember Clark, second by Councilmember Peterson to add the item to closed session. We'll do roll call. Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nails?
Yes.
Mayor Krupa?
Yes.
That motion passes 4-0.
All righty, then now we will recess to closed session, and that will be downstairs. Correct?
unfortunately.
I really do need to take it seriously, not that you would not.
Yeah, yeah.
But what was puzzling to
If
me,
you can, if you can handle it in the
when
cable.
he brought us with the long term investments. So it's like, the minimum was just slightly over 4 years.
Okay.
And the longest was a little under 5 years. Right.
Where you want it, how you want it.
We do have one that's sort of a target. I don't know.
No, that's it. Solid.
It's interesting, so we'll take more discussion and see how that would fit into, what you guys would do. But it is something that needs to be taken seriously, perhaps specifically. I just don't, I mean, I wouldn't have to worry getting around that, hey, I gave a proposal to the city, but they didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, and we have to tread carefully just to make sure we do everything above board.
Exactly.
So I'll have to find out, I'll have to actually talk to legal.
Yeah,
See,
that'd be good, that'd be
because
good.
I don't know if we have to actually do a request for proposals to get, so it's out to everybody?
Well, I'm not, yeah, well, now that brings up an interesting point. So you're dealing with public trust. Obviously, they need to be part of the conversation, not his proposal directly, but part of, hey, how come,
put those ones
how
over
come you
here?
wouldn't wanna do this in this particular area? Why are you
Usually we have, and then they
suggesting?
come and start putting them up.
What I see of it is so, and I've looked at it in a little while now,
I thought that
he's not full.
have to go over here.
But there is a difference. And the problem is, the reason public trust would need to be. It isn't just like going down there to the bank and 3.5% versus 4%. That's easy.
Yeah.
But the investments that you're involved in
And then
have
it looks like the
different
white
scenarios.
dots are working. I don't know if
So
that's
does
doing
his.
that.
And so it's a little bit, it may compare dollars and cents, but it would take some study. But my main thing is, I just would like the word to get out that we didn't take it seriously.
Now, did you get anything from him? Like a
Just a
proposal?
handout, just a handout.
No, last time I sat back here,
So
and it was
awkward.
very
And what I
awkward.
did, I took that
Like,
and
could go across
went
like
down
that,
each one of his
and this will be
suggestions.
empty. You know how that's
First off, I
weird?
wanted to see what
I feel
category
like it
was.
doesn't make any sense to have everybody in the
Come to
camera.
find out,
Just
it's
like,
already-
it was very
It's already
awkward last
sorted.
year. It was like, do I turn around, do I not turn around?
But it's 5 years to 4 years, as I say.
I have tons.
And then the interest rate is decided. They can stick two together. So I think, I looked at 3 different
I don't-
scenarios of, from information that he's given us, but, in any rate, you know, it's just like I said, I don't know, we could have one, I mean,
Want me to
what
fix
do
you?
you do?
Well, I don't have enough probably
It's
for
just
two,
information.
like on the corner.
He's actually a childhood friend of mine.
Yeah.
We went to Catholic school together.
Did you?
Yeah. And him and my husband actually work together. So he's been over for barbecues and whatnot.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, let me find out more information and see.
It looks like
And it's
these are
something we
supposed to
can
be
discuss
permanent dots, so
on
that's why I
Well,
got
we
one.
got our, yeah, we got our thing coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does he plan to be there?
I don't know. I haven't got any
And
word
Ruth
from
was
him at
like,
all.
well, they're not gonna,
So,
if they're not gonna stick,
and I can
we should just do
touch
yellow
base with
paper,
Mark too.
the regular yellow paper that we have in the mailroom,
Good.
or in the print
Talk to
room.
me.
'Cause these
Yeah,
papers
all
are
right,
all
take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
How you doing, chief?
Good, how you doing, sir?
Fine.
Stick 'em up.
Did you get an invitation to the,
Here, put
what
little
used to be
dots on
called the
here.
mayor's prayer breakfast?
Because they're gonna do it in real
Think
time,
so.
you know what I
Breakfast
mean?
at 4/12,
Yes,
May 7th.
it's on my calendar, yes, absolutely, I'll be
I
there.
like that, but the
Yes.
council members aren't gonna do that. They're not gonna. put,
Thank you
like,
so
dots
much.
up here.
Thank you guys for keeping me in mind, yeah.
They just need to give us our sheet, their sheet.
Oh, I see yours. Just like this or what? Oh, no. I don't like
You're failing at this.
papers. Okay.
Otherwise, we're staying away from new cheesy thing.
That down there. I know, like Mickey Mouse. Here's a,
What we could do, I mean, I think last year at some point, we did get up and just moved ourselves. Could do that. They start taping up. Just stand up and move over
I
there.
feel like we should move a table on that other end. I don't know, like make it
Well,
a square.
Power strip and everything is under here.
Ugh. I guess it is what it is, but yeah, those awkward cameos.
Cause I totally agree with you, but I don't know how logistical it is at this point.
Oh yeah, well, I think
To
we can
move
make
it.
anything happen.
Brenda's jumping the gun.
No, do not take them and put them back. That's gonna make them fall because they'll lose their stickiness. Where you here with falling down.
Yeah, I was sitting right behind them, and I was like turning around, then not, then turning around, then not.
Make it one more.
It was very awkward.
No, dying.
But if you bring extra tape,
Yeah, but the tape's not working.
I mean, dots and tape, that's gonna work.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. That's the right answer.
Huh?
That's the right answer.
Yeah. It could, yeah, absolutely.
Didn't they used to? I seem to remember as a kid going to airplane show at Hemet Ryan.
Yes,
Did they did one way back when, right?
that was, the county ran it, and, they felt that they were wasting too much money putting these things show, but I'm like, well, we're shortage of pilots. That's the whole purpose of air shows, that they, like almost our outreach for the public, get people interested in flying. These aren't wasting here. Should I make a row, bottom row? Should I go along the bottom now?
Yeah.
They're starting to go down.
They're starting to go down.
And Chief Booth for a while.
I know everybody has a list. Nora has a list. Did we? I missed a memo here. Nora has what? A list of their accomplishments. We did it last year. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm writing it right out.
I didn't get Brahma's. I didn't get Brahma's.
Club over there to point out, be patriotic, point out the days when we should be flying our flags.
Yeah, Mike Morrell kept talking about freedom of religion, freedom of speech.
Yeah, the rules were all very violent.
And he also reacted to the
Oh, I don't know if you're gonna present from here or there. Probably stand up. Okay.
Hillsdale College, my notion, for example, they're an old college, they go way back, of course. But look at all the other colleges, the old colleges. Like, and that's where people talk about rape, they quote rape a lot about.
Everybody set? Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. I would like to call the April 22nd, 2026 Special City Council meeting to order. Deputy City Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. Before proceeding, I would like to remind the council members to keep your microphones turned on and positioned so the audience can hear. And meeting is being recorded via Zoom teleconference. With that, we'll proceed with roll call. Councilmember Clark?
Present.
Councilmember Lodge is absent. Councilmember Peterson? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Males?
Here.
Mayor Krupa?
Here.
4 members are present with the exception of Councilmember Lodge.
Do we need to excuse him?
I would.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to excuse Tom from this meeting.
I would like to run the motion to please excuse Tom Lodge from this meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Peterson, I heard.
that was unanimous, right?
that
Okay,
Males?
please do a roll call.
Alrighty. So we have a motion by Councilmember Clark, second by Mayor Pro Tem Males to excuse Councilmember Lodge is absent. We'll do roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Males.
Yes.
Mayor Krupa.
Yes.
That motion passes 4-0.
Okay, today's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Clark. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And where's our-
Right there.
Please put your right hand over your heart, all heads off. I
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now have a report out of closed session by the city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. For the initiation of litigation item that we added, there is no reportable action. As to the personnel action, the appointment of interim city manager, it is my pleasure to announce that a motion from Council Member Clark and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Males was made and unanimously approved to offer a conditional offer to Noah Rao through the interim city manager for the city of Hemet. A contract will be placed on the open session regular discussion item agenda for the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good. Congratulations, Noah. With that, we will move on to public comment. Deputy City Clerk, are there any speakers?
Mayor, we have no registered speakers.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment on anything on the agenda? Ooh, I heard something over here. Seeing none, we will move on to discussion item, and the city manager will start us off with discussion item today.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. This is one of the meetings I look forward to each year because the ideas that are born out of this exercise, you know now for 3 years that we turn them into action. One of the, I think, more memorable experiences I will have serving as your city manager is working on the branding initiative that began right here just a couple of years ago as an idea to talk about uplifting the city, its reputation, its image, and we see it today. It's really beautiful, this new logo, the icon. We're looking forward to sharing that with the community in so many different ways. So your ideas matter, and this is the opportunity for us to get organized, prepare a work plan, and move forward advancing your ideas. So just an overview of where we're headed. So I've already taken care of that. I like this quote. I've actually used it each of the last several years, and I want to read it because it's probably it's been as meaningful, in prior years as it is today. But strategic planning is the delicate balance between dreaming big and not being able to afford it. How true is that, right? We have some incredible ideas, and if we had more resources, we would put more ideas into action. But this is the challenge. I think it's fair to say with our budget looking like a $10 million challenge that we need to solve between now and the end of June. Our ideas today are going to need to be either more affordable or in some ways cost neutral, right, to the organization. There are a lot of great ideas that we can implement that don't cost a lot of money. We're working with Christian Tikas right now on something we're calling the I Love Hemet project. It wasn't on the work plan, it was something that we initiated. We also are working on another initiative with Christian called Paint the Town New. He helped brand that, but this was an opportunity to reach out to some of our home building supply companies in town, ask them if they would be willing to offer some form of a modest discount on paint and talk about it with our community and direct them to our businesses. So we love that partnership, but those are the types of ideas that are actionable, and we are getting started. So some additional comments. This is an opportunity to set realistic priorities for the coming year. I've emailed you, and I think we printed out copies for everyone. This is a list, I call it reference material for the FY 26-27 strategic plan item, action item discussion. We have built 25 or more, I'm sure more, but these are 25 items that we've built or initiated in the prior 3 years that require ongoing some form of staff support. And some of these ideas are not small, they're quite large. And so just know that we've already put in essentially 25 new items into the work plan moving forward because we've built those over the last 3 years. This past year, we added 6 items to the list: concerts in the park, the Hemet Youth Council, the I Love Hemet project, which we worked on, public art installations, which are coming and will continue to come forward, the implementation of Hemet365.com, which is underway now, and the implementation of the new Hemet branding initiative, which it's really, our imagination is the limit here. We can place these in so many different locations around town. We're also going to discuss how priorities fit within the organization's capacity and the budget limitations before finalizing these. So our vision is we will bring back your ideas in an organized presentation, potentially as early as your next council meeting next week, for at least an initial discussion. We'll be inviting your feedback on items that you might want to be attached to as a liaison or a council ad hoc committee. As we've done in prior years, it's an opportunity for you to get closer to some of those policy matters in the development of those policy matters, and I know we've all enjoyed working together on advancing those. We're also going to agree on how progress will be monitored and reported. That's been historically a quarterly update to the City Council. We just had one at our prior meeting. So this is just an overview of where we're headed today. We're going to recap last year's workshop and accomplishments. We're going to review the council vision and mission statements. We're going to have a discussion of strategic plan goal ideas. We're going to work on developing those ideas and go through a voting exercise. So it's really a prioritization exercise that we're going to call Air, Water, Chocolate. We'll discuss the monitoring and reporting and wrap up. There'll be breaks or a break opportunity in between here, so we'll pace ourselves. Okay, these are the same proposed ground rules that have been successfully used in the last couple of years. These are: listen to understand, assume good intent, seek consensus, stay focused, and enjoy the discussions. Do those work for the City Council? Yes? Okay. We also have a bike rack. The bike rack will be one of these 2 pads of paper, but if we have ideas that are something we want to follow up at a later date, we're going to write that down so that we can come back to that. So that's how we'll track that. Jenny and Brenda will be assisting with that, and Christian as well. Okay, just to look back on the current year, when we had this workshop last year, we developed 30 staff and council action items. We've presented 3 quarterly updates to you to date. I view it as a balanced action plan that ensures the goals are achieved. It doesn't mean that we always are able to finish everything in a single year. So one of the examples of that, for example, this year is the interest in transitioning to weekly street sweeping. So the first step was to begin conversations with CR&R, who provides street sweeping services for the city today, and begin working on an amendment to the contract. And when we started that conversation, it really grew to a larger conversation about the quality of their fleet, the age of their fleet, interest in using AI technology as a force multiplier for code enforcement cases, because there's technology that will take a photograph of every house picking up trash once a week and then kick a report over to the code enforcement team. It's remarkable what some of the technology can do today. But we are now at a point where we've negotiated terms for that. It's grown from simply an amendment to transition the sweeping from once a month to weekly. There will be a significant implementation process associated with that. New signage on every street, and the timing and dates that those streets will be swept. We need to hire a park enforcement operation, whether that's contract or in-house. And so just know that the second half of that initiative born in this room a year ago is going to take and bleed into the second year in order to achieve that. But we like to look backward at some of the items that maybe didn't get finished in a single year, continue that work because it's a council priority. And that happened a lot with IT over the last 12 months because we had a number of initiatives in 3 years ago that needed to go in sequence. And so because of that, we had a number of items in the past 12 months that got done as well. And then we're going to make sure that we ensure that either council ad hocs or you serving as a liaison is synced with the strategic plan action items. So we'll have that fun conversation at a future council meeting. All right, so we're going to begin by, and notice the branding, by the way. We are using a brand new PowerPoint. So some of the words may be the same, but the look and feel is more professional. We see that our horizon is here, right? And we've even updated some of the pictures that are inside here to align with that colorful branding. So thank you, Jenny, for helping me with this. But we want to begin with an open conversation, council and staff around the table, because we're a team. So this is why it's important to have our executive team and key staff here along with our council. But we want to begin with a conversation about accomplishments that we're proud of that have happened over the last 12 months. And we'll have a couple scribes. I think if we can also have a scribe here, we'll go back and forth and just begin to jot these down so that we can document over and above what we documented in the 2025 year in review. So let me pause and I will open it up for council members and staff. Staff, I think we have a couple of microphones that might need to be shared, but it would be helpful if we try to speak into the microphone so we can capture that. And if everyone's too shy, I'll just have to start calling on people, right?
So you want things in the
Just,
last 12 months?
Items that we're proud of that have happened over the last 12 months for the organization.
Infrastructure. We've been working on our roads, and I think people are starting to see the progress that we made on the roads. So
Great, thank you.
Anybody just jump in.
Developed a concept for a design of Weston Park.
Ooh, that's right.
That's coming back to you next Tuesday for final adoption. Looks great.
The significant increase in adopted streets within our city.
We have, is it quadruple now? It's close to 40, quadruple in 3 years.
I think the crime statistics looking better, and also response time for the fire department with the addition, that's huge.
With that said, I'll add some of the crime statistics. Homicide decreased by 40%, rape decreased by 30%, robbery decreased by 26%, burglary and vehicle thefts also down. On average, response times have decreased by 10%, and priority ones response times have decreased by 7.5%.
Yeah, that's pretty significant.
and it's due to bringing our police force and our firefighters up to what was needed under Measure U's requirements.
It's, we have the largest staffing in 15 years, I believe, on the force, the actual people on the street. And with fire, I know I heard fire also, the implementation of Squad 4 has further improved the response time for the department, despite the rising number of calls over the past, I mean, really, they're not stopping, they're still continuing to increase as the city grows.
Yeah.
Okay. Thought I saw a microphone ready to go over here.
Finance implemented a new financial system after a year of development, where vendors are now paid weekly instead of bi-weekly. And a lot of stuff is more electronic now, electronic workflows, electronic file storage.
Thank you.
HR process 48 new hires and 23 promotions.
It's a lot of work.
The accomplishments of our economic development department and the fact that we have gotten a Cal Ed Award 2 consecutive years.
Congratulations to Economic Development. We haven't talked publicly about that new award, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it has to do with initiating new events, including the drone show, entrepreneurial,
Concerts in the park.
the Fast Pitch, which happened this week, and we have another local entity heading to a larger competition. Good news there, and concerts in the park.
We received a GFOA Award of Excellence for the fiscal year 25-26 budget.
We completed several facility improvement projects at Police Department and Fire Station 1, namely, and then also a little bit at Covell with the new generator.
The Code Compliance Division implemented the vacant property registration and boarding certification in June of last year, as well as hosted the abandoned vehicle abatement meeting for the region at the library with over 50 attendees. Our Housing Division kicked off the CDBG Senior Home and Americans with Disabilities Act repair program, and we're currently assisting 16 income qualifying households with critical house repairs.
Thank you.
And I'd like to add the sharing of cameras with businesses for our police officers so they're able to put their theft program in proper perspective and get our thefts down, which I think they come down a considerable amount, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, and I have a few more to share along those lines. Operationally, we expanded our capabilities in a meaningful way. We moved our Aero team to 7-day week coverage, which significantly increases our ability to address homelessness, quality of life issues, and proactive enforcement. We began a small scale bike patrol. I think, Jackie, you were the push behind that. We don't have them out there all the time, but our special events, Christmas parade and whatnot, we're gonna have them out there. Improves visibility and engagement in key areas. We deployed a full-time drone as first responder pilot, improving our situational awareness and response times, also cut down on overtime doing that. And we strengthened our real-time information center, what Pro Tem Males was saying. Dedicated analysis, providing daily operation support for 7 days a week now on our real-time information center. And I have one key statistic I left out, really important. Use of force incidents decreased by nearly 26% last year.
Wow.
That's
Awesome.
with our population still rising and a number of arrests going up at the same time.
Did you include the second Aero team in there also, or?
I did, yeah.
Okay, thank
7
you.
days a week now.
We implemented the Arts and Culture Ordinance for the city of Hemet and did we approve that? The first, we approved the design for the first mural that is going to go downtown, and it's exciting. Keep going.
Yeah, on my end, I'd like to add, we brought in additional $15 million in investment with 2 tax sharing auto agreements. That's very, very massive for us. We've also released 2 CDBG grants, which is really hard to do on economic development standpoint. Cities don't necessarily go that route, so kudos to council for having that vision to do CDBG. And we've played around with 2 different kitchen grants. We did the downtown kitchen grant, and we did also the actual kitchen grant, and all the events that we've been able to not only launch last year, as it was mentioned earlier, but we also partner up with other different organizations to host the Rodeo del Sol event. We had the Wanderlust Food Truck Festivals, the Dia de los Muertos, so community events was in last year. And then another thing I would like to add, we did the commercial facade improvement program. We continue to really hone in on that. And our monthly business connect calls, they were averaging 4 or 5 people. Now we're up to 70. This Thursday we might have the highest record as well. So I'm gonna continue on, but I'll pass it to Kathy. I know she has a couple more things. Kathy?
The library has opened a 5th day. We are open Tuesday with open access in the morning from 7 to 1. We have quite a few people who come in, and then we're open to the public from 1 to 5. Very busy day, and the 3 of us run a lot. And we're so pleased to have the community come in. Additionally, we've had enhanced children's activities and enhanced adult programming, arts, crafts, puzzles, games, bingo. Lots of exciting things happening here. And then we partnered with the police department this past year with Chalktober and Trunk or Treat, and that was a great big success. I look forward to continuing and bringing fire department in to join us for Chalktober this year. And then just increased library participation at community events.
C-Click Fix, we went from an open to close ratio of 15.5 days to now 6 days. We also started the HOPE initiative, which is a monthly meeting for our resources that deal with homeless and service to homeless out here. And we have 18 groups that meet monthly, at least, to collaborate, to share resources, and to help our community.
Thank you.
We also received approval for funding of 2 storm drain CIP projects that are funded from Riverside County Flood Control and Water Conservation District.
Yay.
The fire department has received a number of new apparatus. We have 2 new engines that'll be coming into service within the next month, a new ladder truck out at Station 4, and a Type 6 brush patrol. So we're real happy about that. Long process.
We found a location for a community garden. It is designed. We've partnered with the Green Coalition to operate it once it's constructed, and that is in process.
We're getting ready to launch Hemet 365, which I've been told the city's been trying to do for years. We got it done this last year. We had a great ad hoc committee. This is a calendar of events that anybody can use and put their event on. We want people, nonprofits, businesses, any activities that are going on in the city, we want them when it goes live within weeks, and it'll be a community calendar, and it'll be wonderful.
Yes.
Quietly behind the scenes, and hopefully it's still in progress, the Southern California Air Quality Board is looking at putting a monitor, an air quality monitor, hopefully over on Park Avenue. They have specific requirements, but that's a huge win for us here in the Valley. It's not completely in agreement yet because council hasn't approved it, but it is in the works and hopefully will help us with a little bit of information.
Will that be on Tuesday's agenda or 2 weeks out?
It'll be a couple weeks out.
2
Yeah,
weeks
it's
out.
coming
Okay.
soon.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
From an investigative standpoint, our teams delivered strong outcomes this past year. Multiple major cases were solved, including armed robberies, human trafficking operations, and complex burglary cases. A lot of those were years past, but the case goes for so long, sometimes 2 to 3 years. But we got some with over 50 years sentencing, so that's a great thing. That means it's a strong case. Several homicide cases resulted in convictions and significant sentences, and we established a cold case unit this past year to ensure we continue pursuing justice even in the older cases.
There's a joint venture between Risk Management and the Police Department to show a united front at the Parma Conference to speak to the risk insurance. And they are beyond impressed at the lengths that the Police Department has gone to mitigate risk. And they're being used as an example for other agencies. So it's, we've made a lot of progress on that side.
Thank you.
I believe it was last October, we held the 2nd annual Girls Empowerment Camp,
Yes.
which we look forward to do again this year under the leadership of Engineer Samantha Harper.
Chief, have you hosted any other recent events for younger folks?
I'm sorry?
Have you hosted any other recent events for younger folks?
Yeah, well, we had the Fire Explorer Academy, which technically didn't happen in '25. I didn't know if I wanted to go over that.
Anything in the last 12 months is fair game.
110 fire explorers from California, Nevada, and Arizona, coupled with about 40 different of their advisors for the week. It was an excellent activity, a big success. After the graduation, it was notable that parents and grandparents and young kids, the explorers, were all crying outside because they made it through. Thank you for your participation during that event as well. Thank you.
The city conducted 4 employee recognition events for all employees to participate.
Thank you. That last one was a lot of fun. Hopefully there's no video. Brenda, it looks like you're running out of paper over there. I'd like to contribute one because Jenny's writing, and Jenny spent a lot of time working on... Uh-oh. Christian, we need help. We have some first responders that are helping Brenda. Nothing to worry about. The one item I want to add to the list is the Hemet branding. What a lot of fun! What a great experience that was. Incredible community outreach, council engagement, and really a beautiful logo and icon and tagline. And for the council awareness, we have put an RFP on the website today that would invite ideas from any merchant that would like to enter into a non-exclusive license agreement with the city and sell products like shirts, hats, cups, you name it, whatever, mouse pads, whatever it might be. And so we will plan to help pay off the cost of the entire branding initiative over time and more, and raise awareness about the new brand. So that's a lot of fun. That RFP is live now.
Very good. I don't know if it happened in the last 12 months, but the time and temperature at City Hall is a big deal with the community. And they love to tell us when it's off by 5 minutes or 4 hours or whatever, but it
Or
gets
2
fixed.
degrees.
Yeah, or the degrees, yeah. But that's really, you know, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing. And the public absolutely loves it. And so thank you to everybody that was involved in that.
And our next project is the library, right? That one's coming soon also.
Yes, the contract has been awarded.
So next year, you can celebrate the accomplishment of getting this one back up and running. Anything else?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to provide kudos also to the planning division, who is the backbone of our city, who aids with all the events that we have in the city, processing and coordinating with each department the necessary documentation necessary to ensure that our wonderful events that are happening in their city are organized well, properly, and safe. The planning division also is long-range and current planning. We help facilitate development in the city. The planning division conducted 31 development review committee meetings, as well as the planning commission considered over 40 items in 2025 for consideration for approval, anywhere from the grant programs to ordinances, new development for construction, new tract developments, commercial development, and there's just a lot of information that's provided to them to help provide recommendations to the city council. We're really proud of that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Couple more things landed in my head as we went around here. We also landed launched the job lead section on the economic page. We update that right now. We're trying to do it weekly, but we get quite a few hits on that one, so we're very excited to go on the job lead section. Also, kudos to Jennifer on the social media aspect. We've been able to grow that 5,000. That goes back into the branding. People want to know our story. They're curious. They're picking in. What's Hemet doing? We'll tell you what we're doing because we got 500 views in one of the videos. For a city like us, folks, 500,000 views on a video. It's like a unicorn, but we were making that happen. We also had the Christmas toy giveaway. We passed out over 2,000 toys. We did the Hemet Cruise. That we reestablished the partnership with the Tinsel 5K so we can host that. And we welcome Planet Fitness, Valley Hot Springs. We did a fan tour, I believe, last month. We brought Hollywood. Hollywood is aware of Hemet. And we also, after some digging of 2 years, we got invited to join the SoCal Wine Country EDC. So those are just a couple that popped into my head.
I want to mention that Hemet did a team for the Bedrock Trail Run. We had a marvelous time. That was important. We memorialized council with the help of city attorney and city manager, help memorialize our relationship here at the library with the Hemet Women's Club.
Yes.
And we're very grateful for that. And then lastly, for me, is we've secured several grants from the state library to help enhance things here at the library. More to come on that later.
Thank you.
Several additional streetlights were installed at dark intersections, mainly on the east side of town. There was a couple that were not at an intersection, but on Hemet Street as well.
I want to mention the Hemet Youth Council because this was their inaugural year. We have a big group of 19 young folks around town. We had so many projects moving through the system that they were a terrific resource in having them take a look at Simpson Park, having them take a look at the branding initiative. We had them participate in looking at the Weston Park plan. So they've been a really nice sounding board for us. They raised a few different ideas or issues that we weren't thinking about sometimes. So they covered some of our blind spots, and we really appreciate them.
For IT, we completed our 10-year IT sustainability plan, and we also were able to get a new hire out of it.
Thank you, Scott.
Fire department, we, with the help of the city, just concluded the acquisition and purchase of about 4 acres behind Station 4, behind that training center, for a training center expansion project.
Yes. All right. Well, that's a really long list. Jenny's still writing. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for all the work we did. So I'm going to jump back into the PowerPoint. And if the slide will advance, there we go. Did I get it right? I'm going to go back one. Okay, good. I didn't want to miss anything. Oh, it's going too fast now. All right. Next step is we want to take a moment just to pause and read both our mission statement and our vision statement. We made a couple of minor edits a few years ago, but it's always a fresh opportunity to look at this with new eyes. And so I'm going to read this, and we'll pause and see if the council has any comments on the mission statement. The City of Hemet will be a destination of opportunity and empowerment for its residents, businesses, and visitors by capitalizing on opportunity, striving for growth, and promoting diversity, inclusivity, and respect for each member of our community.
I think it looks good just the way it is.
I'm seeing a lot of nods. Okay, great. On the vision statement, the City of Hemet shall be a model of excellence in local government, a safe, well-planned, welcoming community with equal opportunity for all.
At the end, I would like to add, your horizon is here.
Amen.
Like it.
All right, so Elodie, I'm going to ask you to help me note that so that we include that in the vision statement and update that. Isn't that great? The branding initiative is still alive and influencing us.
Do any staff people have a disagreement or anything on the mission or vision? I mean, you guys are out there too. Okay? And everybody nodded?
I like it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this next slide is a little harder to read. So my apologies for the specific objectives. I'm going to have to get a little closer. But the strategic plan is actually about 5 years old. And the left column here, quality of life, economic opportunity, community engagement, partnership and collaboration, and organizational effectiveness are essentially the broader goals. Objectives were established 5 years ago that are a little dated, perhaps, because it was an era about 5 years ago. I do think that from an organizational perspective, next spring after the next election, as we get together for this type of a meeting next year, it may be a good opportunity to go back to some of the pillars and make sure that these still represent the council's overall goals. So as I think about these, as I've thought about these over the last couple of years, the one that I think might be missing with an overall goal, and we've done a lot of work on this topic, is infrastructure. Whether it's IT infrastructure, streets, taking care of our buildings, our fire stations and our police station. We've done a lot of work on infrastructure, but it's actually not captured in the organizational strategic plan goals unless we read it into some of these other ideas. But that's just an example of maybe we're ready for a future conversation on the larger overall operating goals. But that's just food for thought. Wanted to get your reaction to the existing overall goals.
On community engagement, I think this last year we've really been proactive in bringing in the public. So maybe we say deliver messaging. I would like to have that change or add something to involve them more.
Okay,
in the
so we'll be
community
looking for an
engagement.
edit to the community engagement objective 1 to make it more inviting to the entire community.
That they could participate as well.
Okay.
On that, excuse me, on that same line, in the community engagement number 3, we cannot increase the community's pride without the community's help. So how do we change that to bring the community more into that statement? Because it looks like it's coming from our side, and it,
Yeah, I think when you ask that question, I think the answer may be in some of the ideas that will come out of the goal setting. I think we can answer that question with some of the initiatives on, so for example, the merch shop, it's a small idea, but it will generate revenue, which is a nice way of adding some more revenue to the organization and diversifying our revenue base. But the brand itself is probably an opportunity for us to ignite that conversation somehow in the community. Is it through some form of partnership with the Chamber of Commerce? Is it through some partnership with a community committee that comes together at the request of the city manager or the council? Is it council ad hoc that wants to work in partnership with our communications staff or other folks? I think there's a lot of different ways that we can speak about pride. I think when I look around town, some of the concerns I have is people not necessarily, whoever owns the property or lives in the property, not necessarily taking care of the business or the residents to the expectation of of maybe other neighbors, right? I think the transition to weekly street sweeping is going to solve some issues for us on that space, but we should be proud of the community that we live in. We have one of the most beautiful valleys one can imagine. I think our logo and branding starts to capture that idea, right? And I think people that have followed the branding initiative know that one of the messages is that we're close to everything, we're affordable, we're a place where you can build your California dream. And making sure that everyone in the community hears that message and embraces it should be helpful. I've talked to another branding person in the past about, and I've probably mentioned this to a few folks, we needed to get organized as a city first and begin to see the progress that we're making before we really told the story. Now we have stories to tell, and we're beginning to tell that story. But there's a lot more work to do on pride, right? We want people to take more ownership. I mean, when you look at In-N-Out Burger in the morning, they're out there sweeping and cleaning. It's impressive. Everything is spotless every single morning, but not every business does that, right? I do drive by houses and I wonder, why isn't that house weeding the weeds in the front? Or maybe they can install some desert landscaping. This is why we like ideas like the partnership with businesses on painting the town new. But I wonder if there are other things that we can do, that we can dream up in this meeting today that help answer that question.
yeah, I'm thinking on that, maybe change the word increase to seek the community's help to restore pride in our community.
Yeah.
Because it
Melody,
has to
can you
come from
capture
the
that?
people. In fact, point in on that one is the city attorney's comment to me this morning that Kathy Keynes was out at 7 o'clock this morning picking up trash in front of the library. That's pride in community, pride in what you do. And thank you for sharing that. That's very telling, and I think we all need to do that.
Thank you.
I will tell you, as I backed out of my driveway this morning, I stopped and picked up a piece of trash that was in my front yard. And now it's in the front of my car. But it's small things, but it's just doing it. And Christian's I Love Hemet weekly or monthly cleanups. These are things, but I think it's seeking the community's help, not increasing. So, Kathy?
I have something that has
Thank you. Perhaps we might want to add to quality of life, enhance public enjoyment in community events and amenities. That's quality of life.
Elodie, were you able to capture that idea? Okay. All right. Safe to move to the next slide? Okay. So this slide is about the materials that you've been provided. It's a little different this year than last year. So the source material you have are, we recently brought you the work plan status of our current year work plan at your last council meeting. So you can find that under the link to the April 14th council meeting. This year, for the first time, we engaged with our planning commission about a month ago and did the same exercise, but in a smaller way with them to solicit some ideas. So everything you see in yellow here are ideas that were presented and dreamed up by the planning commission for your consideration. In prior years, the city manager had recommended, maybe up to 10 ideas from time to time. This year, I've backed off of that because I know we're busy. I know we built a lot of programs, and this is your work plan. But these are some ideas from the Planning Commission that we've put up on the wall for your consideration. The handout in front of you includes the DOT voting, air, water, chocolate, and how those were voted on and prioritized by members of the Planning Commission. So you can see the collective. I think we had 4 members that night. Monique, is that right? I think we missed one. I think Dana Hill was away, but Dana still contributed ideas. He just didn't have a chance to vote on the exercise. And then finally, on that same piece of paper, there's material about the initiatives that have been launched in the last 3 years that are continuing to require staff time to advance. So the process that we're going to go through is we're going to begin with a brainstorm. We need to take a lot of time for that. So you have been given some pads of paper. We're going to let you spend some time writing down ideas that will help you put up on the wall, because not everything sticks to this wall apparently, but those white circles certainly do. So thanks, Brenda. Then we'll do some council report outs where you explain the ideas to your colleagues. Then we'll go through a DOT voting exercise, and we'll talk about the currency. I believe that the currency may have been reduced this year. So instead of 5 dots, you may have, the slide might say 4 dots, but the council with 3 votes can give themselves 20 dots if they want, right? And then we want to make sure that we clarify with the staff questions that they might have. One of the important challenges here is when we identify an action item to work on for the next 12 months, it needs to be something that is specific and measurable. So cleaning, we want to clean the streets is just too general, right? If we want to, if we're targeting something, we want to be able to say within, we want to accomplish something within a certain amount of time, or by a certain percentage, by a certain date, and be specific about what the task is. And we'll have more examples of that. But let me go back. Actually, I go back here. Any questions on this before we take a brief break? Yes.
If the Planning Commission has already put up something up there, that's fine. We don't need to repeat it.
That's correct. And we'll go through one of the steps here is as you come up with your own ideas, we may see duplicates, right? And we'll try to condense those. That happened with the Planning Commission too. They had a number of overlapping ideas, and they basically, we just put 3 of those in a row and picked the one that was probably most representative of the idea. And this will be iterative because it's going to take us at least one meeting, a follow-up meeting, at least one, maybe 2, to refine the work plan. And there may be times, and I think we did this with a Q2 update. With a Q2 update, we consolidated 2 items. So as we thought more about it, had to do with economic development, we thought it would just be easier to sync those. And so just know that this is a bit of a living document, even though it's what keeps the organization focused over the next 12 months. Now, I know limericks were quite prevalent last year. Thought maybe we overdid it with limericks after that vacation I took to Ireland. So I have a new inspiration this year. It does come with some Chat GPT. It's definitely AI enhanced. So this is, we're embracing Dr. Seuss this year for this first break. Let me read it to you. With flip-flappy papers and zoomity zest, they'll wonder what goals will be simply the best. They'll doodle and noodle, then say, yes, that's the one, and build out a year full of progress and fun. How about that? We'll take a short break. There we go. Okay, I think that Dr. Seuss was a hit. So, you know, we can think about this next year, continuing Dr. Seuss. Right, Noah? Okay. This looks very familiar to our council members. You've been through this before. And today, as I mentioned, the currency has changed from 5 dots to 4 dots. So you have, the good news is you have 12 dots to work with, 12 forms of currency. Your red dots are considered error dots. These are must-haves. These are the items that are of greatest importance to you. Air is required for life, right? We can't go very long without it. That's why we're describing this as air. Water, we need water, but we don't need water as frequently as we need air. So it's definitely a need. It's important. These are your blue dots. Are those blue, Brenda? Yes, they're blue. And then finally, our chocolate brown dots. These are the nice to haves. These are things that we want. We don't have to have them, but they're valuable. They're not necessarily critical. And so this forces that prioritization that we did not do 3 years ago when we ended up with 40, I think it was 83 ideas. One item fell below the line. It wasn't as important, but everything else was important. We're going to have a lot of great ideas up here today. We just want to try to pull out what are the highest of high priorities. So the process is going to be, first we're going to pause and let you dream up your ideas, and then we'll go through the process of the voting. So let's take at least probably 15 minutes writing out your ideas. We have pens. Do we have darker pens for them to write with? Okay, everyone has a dark pen. Good. Write as legibly as you can, because we'll all be taking a look at that. And then if you haven't, you've had a chance to look at the Planning Commission ideas, so you know what those are. You can steal some good ideas or amend their ideas. And then we'll begin in about after some 15 or 20, 30 minutes, whatever time is needed. So take your time with your ideas. The staff is available to answer any questions you have as well. Feel free to get up out of your seat and ask questions of the staff. Thank you. I think Councilmember Peterson already yelled bingo, so we're going to go move on to the second game now. Yes, so we'll just take the ideas, write them onto the big yellow sheets so we can see them. If you need to take a second sheet, you can always attach it or synthesize the idea. And then we'll ask each of you, once we place, we'll have some staff help you put them on the walls, and then we'll have each council member walk through their ideas and share them with their colleagues.
like you're at the end of your shift.
It'll be
I think we're almost there. Still have some ideas coming. Connie, do you need more paper? All right. So procedurally, what we think may be easiest is to have you just stay seated, read your ideas, and then we'll have the staff help put these up on the wall for you. And then it'll be a time for clarification, questions, etc. Once we start to see them up on the board or up on the wall. So Mayor, how would you like to proceed in terms of
I would
council?
suggest that we each do one as we go down the line so that you don't hear one monotonous voice after another.
Okay.
So my first one is left turn pockets on streets crossing Florida Avenue, as in Lyons, State, and Kirby. I need a runner. Joe? You're next.
Okay. Mine are all based on cost, based on trying to not spend. After going over our budget, my mother used to tell me that I had a champagne taste with a beer pocketbook. And I've learned the hard way during my life. So, and you know, I realize, and I know now after so many years, that you can't keep spending and spending and not have the money in order to, you know, get your wishes, you know, taken care of, because people lose jobs and people, you know, we freeze positions, and I don't like that. So my first one is close all open items that we have now, which we have a lot, before adding any new ones.
And I'll give that a blue. That's an air.
I've been talking about this for a while now. I think the city needs to establish a community resource center for PSP and other public safety events. This would be no cost to the city. In fact, SCE will pay a facility, if it's indoor, up to $1,500 per day, or if it's an outdoor one, they'll pay up to $500 a day. I know in the past when we've had big outages, the mobile police vehicle was used for people to charge their devices and such. And a few years ago, there was a mobile SCE van in town that was giving out snacks and water and stuff, and nobody even knew about it. So I would like to see a permanent facility during emergencies.
Thank you.
So in City Hall, we have a seating area with a captivated audience. Can we get a TV monitor with a rolling 300 Hemet 360 or social media postings, info on upcoming city events, etc., for the citizens and patrons to view while sitting patiently waiting?
Really push for Economic Development Committee with the Chamber of Commerce to assist our Energizer Bunny, who is our Economic Development Director, and also get the business community more involved in getting things going.
I've been talking about this for the longest with our city manager. If we acted more like a business, we could probably save money. So I'm saying become business savvy, create JPAs, for example, buy equipment to fix our own streets, partner up with cities around us, create a JPA. I've talked to the city manager about starting our own animal control. And Beaumont now has called us and said if they want to be a part of their animal control, create a JPA, which I believe, you know, it's great. We'll save money because now we're paying, what, $1.5 million to the county, where now we'll pay them probably under $1 million. But we could have created our own and made money off it with all the other cities and became like a business where we're profiting instead of just paying one way. We could fix our own streets if we had our own equipment, partner up with other cities locally, create our own animal shelter. I said that, pull in surrounding cities to use our services. If a grant isn't available, no, this is on something else. If a grant isn't available for minor projects, don't move forward with it, because right now we just don't have the money for side projects. And so, again, JPAs.
Thank you.
I would like to see weed abatement in the city 3 times a year, not twice. If you look out there right now, everything is brown. It's like 2 feet high. We don't have a mandatory weed abatement program until the end of June 30th. We need a lot of weed abatement right now in our city. I go by houses that have huge weeds right up to their front door right now. And we talked about pride earlier. It's not only a safety issue, but it's a pride in community, and I would like to see weed abatement 3 times a year.
Thank you.
Along the same lines, several citizens constantly bombard me. They would like to see, I would like to see us create an online informative, see it, click it, fix it type of informative reporting that gives you the progress and disposition for better transparency and more citizen education. All generic, street identified. So we're not dealing with confidentiality, but we are targeting certain locations. And for instance, having one section reported and the case number by street, a second investigative determination, whether it is, isn't, whatever, a process in the system, whether that reported case is 30, 60, 90, you could have just a 30, a 60, a 90 category and have those cases sitting just by numbers underneath it. And then if that reported complaint is not, say, a code violation, then which department did it get referred to? Very simple, then a lot of the information gets to the people, better transparency.
Thank you.
Oops, this is kind of piggybacking on what Connie just said, is progress reports on the website, whether it's for street repair or any, sewer water repairs, anything like that, to see, click, fix, things that are going on, just have progress reports so that everybody knows what's going on.
Well, everyone here knows I have a problem with prevailing wages. I don't know how governments can even function with these prevailing wages. I only know one industry, and that's computer industry. And not to throw Mr. Underwood under the bus or anything, but that's a business that I put 36 years in and ran a business. And I know pricing, I know what the cost of goods are. I have a son that runs one of the biggest law firms in the United States, and I run things through him now because I've been out of the business for a while. I can imagine how much more we're paying on our streets. When I came on city council, I think it was $250,000 a mile. Now it's $1 million a mile, and probably still going up. And I know the cost of living has gone up, but I don't know how we got into prevailing wages, but I think because when government pays 2 to 3 times more for the cost to get a job done, government ends up with negative cash flow and has to start freezing positions, with what we're doing now, having layoffs. And we can't go backwards in life. We got to go forward in life. And especially with our first responders, you know, we come to a time where things are good. Things are working out. You know, we're getting the crime off the street, the homelessness off the street. Fires are being fought with no deaths from fires because we're there and getting the job done on time because we have the manpower, woman power to get things done. So when you have to, you know, pay 2 to 3 times more for costs, your budget, you start losing money in the budget, and you don't have money to pay for other important things that like first responders.
Mayor Pro Tem, on the prevailing wage, is there an idea that you have to address that? I know that we've had maybe one conversation about charter city approaches to certain things. Is this related to a charter city concept? Is your idea related to a charter city concept? Maybe in
Charter city concept. That would be nice. I mean, if we can get rid of prevailing wage, yes.
Well, it's state law, but maybe the attorney can clarify what a different change in status would mean for certain types of contracts.
So the city does have some limited ability to alter our arrangement with the prevailing wage statutes as a charter city. That is the current only recognized pathway that I'm aware of that would allow us to address that issue. So if that's something the city council wants to look at, a charter has to be proposed to the voters. So you're having an election. There's a substantial amount of work that needs to go in to preparing the charter. There's a lot of public outreach that you're required to have. But if that's something the council wants to do, a lot of cities have very short charters that say we will run according to state law except for prevailing wage. So you're not the first elected official to be incredibly frustrated by that and seek to address it. So if you'd like to do that, if that's something the council wants to do, we can. Just know that it is a pathway that requires that we prepare things, have public hearings, and go to the voters.
And what other benefits do we have or do we get being a chartered city?
That one's one of the primary ones. The other one usually addresses governance structure. So, you know, you see some cities have 7 council members and then an at-large mayor who has some veto powers and those kinds of things. That's how you end up with those things. You have to do a charter. You know, I think most charter cities don't go down that road. It's just typically the very large ones. But there are a few other things. I mean, I'd be happy to walk you and the council through what are typical components of city charters in California, if that's something you were interested in.
How does that work with term limits? If we become a charter city, do term limits still remain?
So they can. So both a charter and term limits are both voter-initiated matters that can only be amended by the voters. It can. It doesn't have an effect one way or another. It just depends on the language that you put in the charter.
No matter what, it would still have to go to the voters?
It would have to go to the voters.
Okay. And how does elected mayor fall under charters?
So you have elected mayors under general law, and you have elected mayors under charters. So whether or not you're a charter, that isn't what makes the difference.
So it would still have to go to the people then?
If you're talking about a charter that has an elected mayor, yes. If you're saying just going to an elected mayor under general law, not necessarily. And we did have a brief conversation on that at a previous meeting.
Okay.
But if you wanted to, being elected does not change the powers, duties, or authority of the mayor under general law. Whether elected or appointed, It's the same role, presiding officer at the city council in a city manager form of government.
Okay.
Now, you do see a few cities, large, very large, older cities, and some counties recently, that are moving to an elected executive that's commonly called strong mayor. You do that under a charter. But that power has nothing to do with whether the mayor is elected or not. Those are two different questions.
Okay. Thank you.
So Mayor Pro Tem, as a friendly amendment to when we think about the idea, as the council members think about that idea up here, is it fair to say that the consideration of the ideas related to prevailing wage would be in the context of a charter amendment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
This is an easy one to engage our community more. I would like to see a city art competition similar to the beautification and Christmas contests we have. And we could hold it during Riverside County's Arts and Culture Month, which is March.
I'm going to save because it's both the same. I would like to see a downtown Arts Alive, whether it's a first, second, or third, or fourth Saturday of every month. Weston Park and surrounding areas, an evening like 6 to 8 p.m. to include also the high school, different departments that do woodworking, agriculture, eggs, that kind of thing. And then especially do a citywide Ramona Week where banks, city halls, businesses, etc., decorate, dress, celebrate festive style with a Friday before the Saturday opening to have some theme of a quote-unquote cook-off, like a chili or some taco sort of thing. And the community businesses participate and the community votes. That's exactly right.
Thank you.
We're all get the news out. This one is the Hemet Happenings, the brief 30-second social media updates. Get the good news out. Have screens at City Hall and the library that scroll all of the good news 24/7.
That goes with the other two.
Yeah. Okay, Jackie, you're next.
I would like better coordination of grant opportunities that the city can apply for. I know we used to have somebody that did that. We no longer have that filled, but I think we need better coordination somehow. I see things come through, and I'll send it to Chief Ariano, I'll send it to Noah, I'll say, did you get this? You know, I don't know who's monitoring that now, and I think I go to Cal Cities and I go to some of these breakout sessions, and people are saying there's so many grants out there, and they have received thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for their projects. I think our city is really missing out on this. So whether it be a department point of contact that looks at those daily, weekly, whenever they come in, or if we could have somebody do that as, you know, when they first come in, you know, they look at what's available, and that would be their job. I mean, it shouldn't take that long for somebody to monitor that on a daily, weekly basis. So I really think we're missing out on a lot of grants. So I'd like better coordination of that.
I agree with that, and I'm wondering if we couldn't partner with the college and have them do, I mean, maybe Dr., what was that gentleman's name the other night here for the fast pitch? Yes. Whether he could generate a group there that would have that kind of access and kick it out to the different cities where that could be a grant writing position sort of in the college scheme of things, just saying. And finally, mine is council community emergency OES. Very similar to what you're saying, to have a group that has a preparation, documents, and staging for public access. So if the internet goes out, where is this kiosk or information location going to be? Have it out there, documented. I have been in 3 really major earthquakes where the only radio we had was up in Crescent City, which was still 2 hours north. And it's that kind of thing. If we're needing to be community oriented and transparency, let's include them and us so that they know where to go. Where's water gonna be? Where are the gas shutoffs? That sort of thing, one location. That's my idea.
Okay, my last one is to revisit the volunteer recruitment process, and I know legal is involved. We can still revisit it and make it a little bit easier stream. We used to have 110 volunteers at the library. We had volunteers at City Hall, and we don't seem to have that anymore. So that's.
In previous years, we requested panhandling signage, and I see it's awaiting Caltrans approval. But I've been asking for littering signs with fines posted. We have a new ordinance that we passed this last year. I think we need to make it more public. We need to make it more visible with signs and more social media perhaps. And along with that, not necessarily the penalties, but just a reminder for everybody, you know, just to have a few signs around town. Keep Hemet beautiful, or, rather than just being, like say, no littering allowed, make it a positive thing and try to, put that seed in people's minds to not litter. And I got 2 more. I'd like to see better trash enclosures in key shopping areas. I know we talked about this before, and it wouldn't probably cost us a lot of money, hopefully, just to have better lids and better containers on trash enclosures in key areas in town. And I know we're doing a lot with the arts and culture, but we've got so many talented artists in this valley, and I'd like to see us enhance the art in public spaces and start painting some utility boxes, hydrants, and of course, we're gonna start our first mural. So, more to come. And that's all I have.
Are we out of yellow stickies? Okay. So there's a lot here, and are there any questions that the council members have of each other? Some of your ideas that you've shared today. Let's begin there.
Mayor, tell me a little bit more about the volunteer program that you would like to see reinstituted.
I know laws have changed since we were when I was very active with the library. And the police department doesn't seem to have too terribly much trouble getting their volunteers, but we don't seem to have anything anyplace else. So I'm not sure exactly what the process is at this point. I know there's legal involvement in it. I know that everybody has to be live scanned, but that's not new. So whatever our policy is, speed it up, get people in the library especially.
Yeah, it might be actually our recruitment strategy. We've had an open invitation on the website for months, almost the entire year for the library. And so maybe we need to go to the community in different ways, right? Mm-hmm. Beyond just the website. But I think we can dream up some ways to reach out to some folks in town that might be interested in that opportunity. Whether it's City Hall, the library, or somewhere else,
yeah.
Including the police department.
Because I know there's people in the community that used to volunteer for the city, and they're trying to find other things to do to fill their day. But I just think we can do better. And even if we went to the schools, the high schools and colleges, and it doesn't have to be an intern program. It's just like, you've got 3 hours, 2 days a week. Can you come and help? Right. I mean, stacking books, shelving books isn't a big deal, but it's needed.
Did that answer your question? Yeah. Okay, great. Yes,
just real quick, how are we doing with the digital signs?
The digital signs, the Lamar billboards are scheduled to go to your next council meeting next Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
The report
And-
is written. I haven't reviewed it yet, but it needs to be published tomorrow or today or tomorrow.
Are we planning to put a digital sign, I can't say that word, digital sign at the City Hall anywhere?
No, these are, the
So-
Lamar billboards are only for Acacia, Florida,
Yeah.
and Sanderson and Dominigoni.
Yeah,
That,
okay.
anything at City Hall would be a different type of sign, or
Okay.
digital sign.
Because we can advertise that way, because not everyone goes to our websites. Maybe the 365.com will work, but we'll see.
Any other questions for each other? Would it be helpful, I know you have in front of you a list of all the ideas from the Planning Commission. Did you want to discuss any of those or seek any clarification? A couple of us attended the meeting, and we could potentially interpret any, for any comments that they made that might need some additional clarification.
You know, I looked at this, and some of these, if our planning commission doesn't know what's going on in the city, then we have a problem. So we have a problem, because a lot of these things are already in progress, and our planning commission doesn't know about it. So what does that say about us getting information out? It says we're not doing a job. So I guess that goes back to the communication, getting the good news out. How do we communicate with the public? How do we get the good news out, or the
Right.
good, the bad, and the ugly? I mean, it's what it is. But that was really eye-opening to me, that I'm looking at this and I'm going, well, that's in progress, we're doing that, yep, okay. And our planning commissioners don't know.
Right.
That's a problem.
Mayor, I included Mr., I call him Dana White, but it's Dana Hill, in that theater specifically for that reason. Because if he has something that comes up in front of him planning-wise that's even within the vicinity of the theater, he's in the know. And so maybe we should include in that instance, when we have these sort of things that would have a potential to have them see it come across their desks to know what's going on. I agree.
Okay. Any other questions or?
I know we've been talking about a senior center for several years now, and I think you had said maybe we'll put out another RFP. Has anything been done
Well,
on
what
that?
we were hoping to do is put that into the budget. So it's requires about 3 positions. We think the cost is about $500,000. And so it's a trade-off among competing priorities, right? We can do it that way, or we can potentially go through another RFP process to see if someone would be willing to operate the building without asking us for $500,000. That's what happened the first time. We went out to RFP. They said, we'll do it, but we need $500,000 to operate it. And that's essentially what it would cost us to operate it. So in both cases, we were required to front $500,000 a year to help
Maybe-
it operate.
Maybe we could look at a hybrid type situation with the use of our very talented volunteers. One staff person perhaps and some volunteers, or get a unit of the police department in there to, I don't know. I mean, just something, we have to think out of the box.
Right, and I think maybe if we separate the Simpson Center from the senior center.
Correct.
And start with the senior center, that may be an easier way of moving forward. It may not require 3. Some of the 3 is Public Works, helping to clean the buildings on a daily basis. And then with 2, it's programming and management of the administration, the calls and the emails that go back and forth between the community and classes and so forth. Okay. All right. Any staff members want to comment on anything they've read from the Planning Commission, or any of the ideas that the council has come up with, just for clarification purposes? Okay.
Yeah, we do understand that when we put those things up there, it comes down on you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
IT helped me already. Thank you for that slide. So back to the dot side, we have 4 red dots that are the air, the must-haves. These are the highest and greatest importance. The blue dots are the water. These are important. And the brown dots are the chocolate. These are the valuable but not critical items. And so we have a number of ideas. Take your time as you walk. I encourage you to talk amongst yourselves, maybe barter a little bit. If 3 of you believe you need fewer dots or more dots, let us know. We can have the mayor lead a change on the dots, but we thought 4 would be a good number for this year, knowing that there's a lot in motion already. And as you point out, there are a number of items that are continuing that still need work.
Can we buy more from Brenda?
Well, they're selling for 7 figures today. Yeah. All right, so this is the engagement time. Council members, take your time at applying the dots, and we'll go from there, and then we'll have a chat with the staff after that.
Can we have questions for the staff members when we're
Yes,
up there?
feel free to talk to any of us about
Thank you.
questions you have about any of the items. council members, chatting. We're gonna need to know which direction that's going.
How do you pronounce your last name? Ariana. Ariana. My pleasure. Thank you.
It's cheating. There's 3 of those.
Like these are all our.
There's 3 cheaters.
So I put mine there because.
I've got a few ideas on that. That's expensive, isn't it? This is chocolate.
That's the lowest.
This is air. No, water.
Water.
Air?
Air.
This one's on 2. Oh, this is one big one.
This is
Yeah.
one big one.
Okay.
All 6 of those are related.
Ironically, we all have the same idea.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, I think we're getting ready. Next step is for me to review these briefly, make sure that we captured the council's voting accurately. I'm going to read some of these that I see with dots. Why don't I go from right to left? Are these one, or is this is all one? Okay. Okay, this is one, these 6 are one. Let's start here. This has a lot of red dots and a little chocolate. This is a really nice meal here. So this is about communication, videos, status page, progress reports, seating area with rolling monitors and TV information, brief 30 seconds to tell all the good news that's happening in Hemet. Fair to say? Okay, this is all about communication. This is going to be the focus of our work plan. This is a water dot. Downtown Arts Alive, Saturday of each month. Coordinate with the schools. There's opportunities for building communications on the Ramona Week, banks, city halls, businesses, etc. This was Councilmember Clark. And it coordinates with art in public places, utility boxes, etc. What we'll do is we're going to bring you everything that has a dot will show up on the draft work plan. And if there's any idea that didn't have a dot that you still want to advocate for, you can still advocate at that next council meeting. Okay, here, 2 dots, become a business savvy, create JPAs, work on streets, animal shelter, surrounding cities. Mayor Pro Tem on that one. And is this separate? This is the Charter City prevailing wage issue. Has a red dot. Economic Development Committee with the Chamber of Commerce. This is a current year work plan initiative. And when we create a committee, if the city manager works with staff to create a committee, it's not a Brown Act committee. When a council creates a committee, it creates a Brown Act committee that requires meeting minutes, agenda posting, 72 hours, et cetera, et cetera. So we have in motion a plan to work with about 7 people. We've identified those people. We've been through 2 rounds, and we just haven't formally launched yet. I want to give Ben a breather until after. Now he gets to wait until after next Thursday. Next Thursday is apparently a big day. Something's going on in this room. City art competition. I like this idea. I think this is another way of pride. I was thinking about the mayor's pride comments when I saw that. That's something that uplifts the community. Better coordination for grant opportunities to apply for. A lot of interest in that. This is a capacity issue too. And this is also there are challenges with whether we are eligible. And so we do, and at the department level, what our practice is our department directors know that no one knows that he's looking for road money. Chief is looking for money for police. We're looking for infrastructure money. We're looking for money, but it doesn't always help, but it doesn't always land as competitive as we want it. But we have a lot of attributes of the city that make us more competitive today, because we didn't have anything shovel ready a couple of years ago. Now we have a number of projects that are shovel ready. Weed abatement, like that. Community Resource Center, that makes money, red and a blue. Community Council, Community Emergency OES Group. I'm probably going to need some more clarification on that, but maybe I can follow up with you, council member. Revisit the volunteer process. A lot of dots on this. Close all open items before adding new ones. Thank you for acknowledging that. We do have a lot of work going on. Left turn pockets has blue and chocolate, water and chocolate. Littering signs. What's the status of the Caltrans signs? Are we close? If you say something, I'll repeat it. Okay, so we have the permit, signs are going up next week. Good news.
Question on that.
Yes.
Is that just for the panhandling? Is that just for the panhandling, or are there actual littering signs also? Yeah, so they're 2 different things.
But Keep Hemet Beautiful, there may be an opportunity to use the new branding and logo and come up with something different. I've seen cities do this in other communities. Expanding opportunities for
Mark?
partner. Yes.
I just want to make a comment on the left-hand turn one. that is in process at Kirby, and anything that goes across Florida has to include Caltrans, which is, takes 2 years. It's been a year in planning just to get to the stage we're in now. So that's just a clarification on the time and energy it takes to do anything with Caltrans.
We're still working on the GREAT project under Sanderson and Stetson, if you can imagine it. There's a lot of coordination with the flood district, a gas line, and we're still at it. I know it's getting closer, but it's a complex. Some of these individual projects can be very complex. Expanded opportunities for private-public partnerships in the downtown, like the City of Hemet and the theater. Better trash receptacle in key areas, shopping areas. This is something that I've tasked Public Works with already, because with our new logo, there's an opportunity to attach some logos to the side of a trash receptacle and really uplift the brand. And we have at least 3 different varieties of trash receptacles just on Harvard Street alone. And so they're working for something that will work. They were working on something that's affordable, that looks good, that has staying power, and works operationally for us. So we're starting with some ideas. This should be a relatively affordable way to really spruce up downtown. And I provided Noah some feedback on a product that didn't work in a different city over the weekend, so he knows we're not going to buy that one. A little too much plastic, not metal. My understanding in speaking with the mayor or overhearing the mayor is a lot of this is already happening. So this is back to awareness. This one has a couple dots, bring back a senior center, so there's some enthusiasm for that. Identify temporary opportunities for vacant buildings. I like that idea. I think there's an opportunity to partner with the chamber on this. And then a traffic signal timing analysis citywide. Any clarification on any of those? What we can do is we'll work on taking sort of the highest number of votes and looking at the red dots and then working down as you've seen before. And then we'll put together a draft work plan. And then we'll have a conversation about ad hocs and committee members. Does that make sense as a next step? Okay. Let me check out our next slide. So thanks everyone. That was a lot of good work. Helpful focus. Oh. Next slide. Okay, so we'll bring this back to you maybe as early as next Tuesday. It depends on how fast we work this afternoon and tomorrow morning. If not, it'll come in 2 weeks. And then we will provide quarterly updates once that plan is adopted for the next year. So next steps, we need to make sure, I think all of these ideas are achievable from a funding standpoint, with maybe the exception of how do we fund that senior center? That's a question mark. So when we talk about aligning these ideas with budget, that's a good example of one that may need to have some budget considerations associated with it. And then, of course, we're going to review those at a future council meeting or meetings. So, you can only do so much Dr. Seuss, and I'll tell you there was an encore request for limericks from some of our staff. At least one staff member was looking for an encore of our limerick efforts. So this is ChatGPT 2026 as a closing, concluding limerick. There once was a council so bright who planned out their goals just right. With a logo brand new and a bold tagline too, they'll lead with fresh vision and might. Hey, all right. So I just want to say thank you to all of our staff that work so hard to accomplish all of these tasks and more each and every day. I want to say thank you to the council members for bringing your energy today and through the years. I will miss this kind of an experience. I've enjoyed this. I think if I ever did something on the side someday down the road, it might be helping councils set goals. I really enjoy this this type of process. But thanks again, everyone. This has been a very good morning and productive and very helpful for us moving forward and shaping next year's work plan.
All right. Any final comments from council?
That was fun. I didn't do it last year. I wasn't part, but I liked it. It was fun. It's crazy how we're kind of on the same page, too.
It's good to be able to have a conversation with staff. So, any members of staff want to have any closing comments? We appreciate that you put up with us, and like I said, everything that goes up there, we know it comes down on your shoulders, and you are much appreciated. So thank you very much, and we don't have any from the public. So, with no further ado, this meeting is adjourned to the next regular city council meeting on April 28th, 2026. Thank you all for joining us. We are adjourned.